Can you talk to me a little bit about your framing choices for Nosferatu?
Yeah, one day I'd love to do like kind of a widescreen sort of modernist, set of compositions. But Rob, it's pretty classical, so it's always symmetrical, essentially Renaissance sensibilities, applied to almost any movie. I mean, the Lighthouse, we kind of played a little bit with the frame, the up and down, but it's still largely symmetrical, and that aspect ratio is great for close-ups. But yeah, and we tend to shoot everything on a certain focal length, like being on stage 80%, like the lens was a 35 millimeter focal length, 85% of the time probably. Now and then, okay, we had a 28, or in our high speed set we had a 27, but there's not a shot that's wider than a 27 in the whole movie, and there's not a shot that's longer than a 40. It's just three focal lengths, 85% of which are the middle one, the 35, which is just wide enough to like block a scene and not have cuts and get enough context. If you're building the sets, like if you're on location, you're probably not seeing enough, but the sets are sort of built for that focal length, by and large. I think Orlok, the first time we see, the Great Hall with the fire and everything, that's a 27. Okay, fine. But yeah, it's almost always that 35 lens. So which it's kind of a combination of having enough context to see where you are and get set details that are important to Rob, but it's still flat enough that, it's like an illustration, there's not a ton of Z-axis. You can do you can build a somewhat flat illustration. This is very much a storybook movie, I think, which is sort of his proclivity anyway. So, yeah, over time we've sort of found that was the ideal focal length for what we're trying to do. And it's like, why add more complication? Why open up a whole lens case? And, so really just choose a point of view. You don't have to go from a 24 to a 27 to, or a 21, like all these adjacent focal lengths. Just kind of find your favorite and do that, be consistent. So, and The Witch had more of a mix, it was mostly a 32, but we're probably talking 60 some percent, and there's actually some, our telephoto, a shot, like a POV shot in that movie was like a 50, which probably most people would choose 100 or 135 or something. But yeah, but we're getting even more, we're whittling it down, even further the more movies we make.